In mixed martial arts news, PXC 20 goes down Saturday, July 24th at the UOG Fieldhouse. Fight fans can expect another action-packed night of fights with some of the island's biggest names making their way back into the Terradome. Most of the fighters on the card will be representing the Spike 22 gym, with some fighters from off island making the trip to the big show.
We got a pretty stacked card. We have 8 professional fights and a couple amateur fights. In the amateur fights, you'll see Joey Lopez from the Summerpalooza host. He'll be doing his first ever PXC fight. He's got an amateur record, so he's a pretty decent fighter. So I mean, he should put on a show. And we also have fighters from Korean top team coming in to take some of our top guys like Baby Joe, JJ Ambrose. We have a bunch of Spike guys, AJ Uggan and Kyle Uggan. They're both returning to PXC after a brief hiatus. So that should bring in the southern crowd. So it should be a pretty happening event. A lot of good fights.
The fight between Rob Washington and Ronnie Borja will definitely be one of the big fights on the card. Washington has been making a name for him fighting in the Asia region and other fighting events, and has the potential to be one of the best fighters in the 155-pound weight class. Ronnie Borja packs just as much hype as Rob does, coming off a win in the last PXC event over Robert Wistick. Borja has shown his stand-up and submission skills in his last 2 fights, looking to shoot up the 155-pound ladder with a win over the Beast.
The Rob and Ronnie matchup's pretty interesting. Rob's a really strong wrestler. His wrestling has always been top-notch, and he's really has a real dominating top game. His ground and pound is really really strong. Ronnie, on the other hand, is he's a brawler. He stands in the pocket. He trades. That happened at PXC 18 when he fought AJ. And Ronnie's got good submission defense and a good submission game. He submitted Robert Wistick in the last PXC. So, I mean, it's an interesting match of styles. Rob on paper looks like the stronger fighter, but we'll see. Anything can happen in the fight. And Ronnie's a really game guy. He's really hungry, trying to get to the top of the 155 class. So it'll be an interesting fight.
Baby Joe Timinglow will be back, taking on another top fighter from the Korean top team. After defeating one of their up-and-coming fighters in PXC 19, the Korean top team will be looking to even the score come fight night.
At PXC 19, Baby Joe beat one of the fighters from Korean top team. The Korean top team's gone ahead and sent one of their tougher guys, Young Nam Gu, who's no stranger to competition in the region. He's fought in Saipan, and I believe he's fought here before too. And that should be a good fight. Their styles are pretty even. They're about the same size and height and their stature. They're both real stocky. But of course, I got to go with the local boy. I think Baby Joe's just, really developed his game, come a long way the past few years. So it'll be an interesting fight. He can't take Young Nam Gu lightly. He's very experienced.
Also making some noise will be the 135-pound lightweight tournament, with Kyle Uggan back on the scene, making things interesting in that weight class. Justin the Shocker Cruz has been dominating the division, with Josh Alvarez lurking around, ready to be crowned the #1 contender. The two fighters met a couple of months ago and went the distance in a fight that could have gone either way.
The other focus for PXC 20 is the 135-pound tournament. We're trying to establish a belt, for a champion at that weight. So we have Justin Cruz in the mix, Josh Alvarez, Kyle Uggan. Those are some of the names that are in the mix for that right now. Kyle Uggan's coming off a loss to Kyle Rages a couple PXCs back, but Kyle Uggan is a really game fighter from Spike. He's tall, he's got a good build. His wrestling's improved, his striking's improved. He'll be matched up in the first round with Josh Alvarez. And Josh Alvarez is a sleeper. He's impressed a lot of people with his decision loss to Justin in the last PXC, and it'll be interesting. If Justin wins his match and Josh wins his match, then we could see a rematch in the final for the 135-pound belt later in the year.